Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Wildermyth. Last time we left off, I defeated the never-before ball, and now we're gonna go do the after party? Home turns the heart. Few things sing so sweet as green to the green-starved heart. And I still wish, well, guess we just need to be happy we're going back at all. You're not okay, are you? The face often betrays our feelings and our youth, well, and even when youth's gone. Not much more I can do anyway. Sorry, these things don't have to be fragile is all. She gave me her answer. Answers did not come until after the banquet, in a darker hall and grander still. Disheveled partygoers packed the long tables, which all were bowed with from how heavy they were laden. The kind of excess only appropriate in a dream. Constant wonders emerged through conversation as the meal went on. As guests ate, their injuries healed, they smiled to each other, biting down on rum pies, brandishing unmarred wrists, rubbing newly unbruised eyes. None had died. Someone at one point noticed that. And what a great marvel that was when they considered it. Before retiring, the dragon went round to each guest, slow and with state, sharing words, that in perhaps the sole moment all night when not an eye was turned their way, Glyphrix seemingly disappeared. Not long later, LTR led her companions away, down 199 steps, to a chamber vast and dark and spare, a lonely kind of dragon's lair. You know, you seem gray and well. I knew it. You look like I've been splatter-fried by some misguided metallithic frixel bard, don't I? Well, better you would not mention it. Some of us can be sensitive about our appearance. I'm not sensitive, I'm vain, but she was insistent that I permit you this special audience. Because I wished also to hear it. Made me wonder if it was not in fact she who was charmed by... I also wanted to hear it, you huge lazy lizard bat. You lied to me from the start. Massive head, heavy as an oak tree, whips around horribly quick. I know every gaze is reminded then, a dragon is always deciding what dies and doesn't. I don't remember that. You do. Stop being too much. I have foreseen great danger, LTR, and it needs great answer. When we planned for a ball, you said this to me. Really? But I think no, you had no premonition. The goddess told you that one of hers, Thieveline, had left the wood seeking your head. She asked to have him back and vowed you vowed to return him, flippantly one can only assume. Is this not correct or close? Interesting. Interesting. Are you asking me? Why did she want you to save him? And did you even consider whether or not he deserved it? You know, I'm not someone to quibble over deserving. That's a question bitter creatures clutter their homes with. Does it make you mad? It certainly does not make me laugh. Then that is a rare enough apple for me. Where I stand, and for how much longer I will be standing here, I do not know. You are both liars. Once more, Glyphrix appears indolent. A bored, unblinking stare scrapes across the travelers' faces, applying but the thinnest smear of dragonly attention. An extra layer is given to Calum. Behind her youthful eyes, there wavers a woman who has lived to old age once already. I am no one worthy of notice, obviously, but I can at least say, Ellensfor and Hughes, it is enough to summon tears. They came all this way, at your invitation, only to be used as shields? Is it not kind of gross? Relentless pause follows, and Calum's echoing declamation, which first bloomed bright and daring, wilts slowly and dies in their ears. Can now say I've seen the field mouse confront the cat. It was exactly as brave and foolish as it sounds. Oh, what? No. I did mean it, though. My eyes were watering. Maybe some of that was from being too scared to blink, but also I want it to be thought. It was because, hey, these good people deserve better. You were lucky. Glyphrix is absolutely different. After they had all stewed long enough in the fraught silence, LTR came forward, but Glyphrix halted whatever redress she might have offered with a great exasperated sigh. I have enough control, you know. To see that the guests I invite will reach me. I have that power, I rule this realm, and I'm not busy at nothing. You couldn't have died, I forbade it. But we did super die. We had to restart, I died a few times. I don't get what you're and your getting it is of no consequence to me or whatever occurs or how or why. Do you understand that? How greedy I think you humans are, always needing to be the comprehenders of what is and what passes, the lens keepers, lore writers, the interpreters of everything and being and happening in your universe. You're greedy. Those who would know the place and order of all things are only eager to be placed above them, don't you think? You're monsters, guzzle maws. Yes. I know them to be greedy. I walked beside them. They are great aspirers, full of yearning sometimes, even when that is just a directionless, gut-clenching want. Even when it is not. And we are not unlike them, especially down here. Desiring makes us powerful, beautiful, dangerous. Even that flowered insect, I know, Elthiar, you dense little auk. Ah. That was my whole "you're greedy and clutchy and small." I'd rant, I could have tumbled the coals with my tail, then unexpectedly I'd smile, and that's why I like you. Quiet gasp goes up, from all attending, probably the Gorls as well, they know their cues. But you ruined it, Elthiar, as you ruin everything. Huh. Then, is there more you could say? You have control, you rule the realm, none of us could have died. Why? You are so curious, I'll put it in thicker, truer terms. Do your best with them. There was one version of these events I would ratify. None are killed, who are to attend my ball. Such a mandate is possible with the authority of this seat. This kind of governance is old in my bones, but lawmaking of that breadth. Call it a vast expenditure of a dragon's hoard. I spent on it, and allowed only a miracle fate line to emerge, a destiny as near to perfect as one might ever be. Fate line. Even Thieveline, then? Yes, because of your invitation, was protected, which is funny. Worked out rather well, the way my efforts tend to. The goddesses pitied took some harsh convincing, but went back to her safely, in the end, and yes, I'd sworn he would. The goddesses pitied. So the only one at real risk was you, and you laid there like a sleepy tavern cat. But if you had died, we all would have been thrown into whatever comes of the collapse of your power. Well, I wasn't going to die. Is this what you meant, Elthiar, when you said we owe Glyphrix everything? No, that was just... Did she really say that? I've always expressed my gratitude to you. I was simply thinking about the past a lot on this journey. And you were right. I think my path went through deeper than darkness, and it is possible I have not all the way returned from it. Excuse me. Elthiar goes past them, apparently intent on standing by herself. Hey. So anyway, I'm relieved now that the exertion is over. But annoyed you've been cornered into admitting it. So yeah, you basically created this whole thing, and we were like acting out a play for you basically, where we thought we were in actual danger, but you had absolute control over the situation the entire time, and everything went exactly according to your plan, but we didn't know that, so we created a play, you know, where there was real danger, you know? We were acting, but we were acting like our lives were in danger because we thought that they were. No, what could bother me? I tricked you into drawing it out of me, I'll say. Now you'll all go, knowing you have ridden in the purse of a dragon's mouth. You'll be my beholden. I guess I'm embarrassed? I don't know how to feel. Does the lighting look weird here? It does in this screen. Believing what the dragon has told us, that is a choice we can make and remake. Changes nothing, anyway. You won't tell me it wasn't me fighting those battles. And it doesn't change the efforts we made, or the choices that brought us to the end, together. So, Now all that's left is to go home. There's a door I've prepared, through the pale and back to the good green world you came from. And even you who are torn out of your place, you may go too. And if you think that's not reward enough, well, too bad. That's all that was promised. You were useful to me, and silly enough to accept an invitation to a ridiculous dance somewhere as far as Netherflare. Ellen swore recognized then that there was a plain reason he'd given to Hughes, to come here, and he ought to honor that before his senior was forced to broach the subject. But here, Dragon, I just have to ask, it's We'd hoped to plead for your intervention. Where we're from, the Morthagi... You visited Almery's little wanderer. Snow in the dragon's voice, feathery, wide-blown, and cold. Yeah? Then you should know there's no shortage of moments. Times, places, battles, these pieces of all. They are myths to you, but to me they are opportunities through time and story that I might wish or be asked to visit my will upon. But if I were going to do that, oh, first my own, I would save Yildali. Yildali? The eldest. Yes, the eldest sister. She is the one Glyphrix most speaks of, Yildali of ice and wisdom. She who lives again, she lives on as in loneliness. Away from other beings, in the vast black winter, she waters the stars, lamenting the fury of dragons. The sweetest thing about Elthiar is how she listens. I will not intercede, and I must not, if all you know and are is to keep its shape. There are roads we walk down. Whoop! Not conscious, always, of the honest reason. This was just one of those. And that is just about how their audience with Netherflare's monarch ends. A striking young attendant appears, to lead them from this chamber to the promised door. But before they can all follow... Ellen's for. Talk with me a moment. Yeah. Don't worry, I will return to him to you shortly, and we may say our farewells then. We'll await you both. Let us find some privacy. There's plenty here. Thank you, but we will seek our own. Really, how distracting. As the others dawdle in the direction they're pointed, Elthiar shows Ellen's for to one nondescript side of the hall. I do love Glyphrix. Glyphrix is such an interesting character, and I still love that during combat they just insulted people. I'm sorry, all the mud, the webs, the layered lies I prepared that you must still be plodding through. Corridors cut there, too narrow for dragon's hips. This honesty was not something I had thought much of since becoming this thing I am. I don't know, like Elthiar, okay? On the base level, we're the same. All I mean is, having a face I'm lying to has made me feel differently. Because it's mine? Or, since it is your face, I never worry I won't be believed. Well, something interesting about this particular campaign is, like, our characters are so, like, incredibly seasoned for battle and stuff, which made sense, especially in, like, the campaigns where we actually aged, because, like, yeah, our people would become crazy badasses because they had been constantly fighting in wars for, you know, like 50 years of their life and things like that. So, of course, they'd be crazy, but here, all of my characters are pretty young and max level, which is interesting to think about. I remember at one point, the whole reason I chose Calum over the other character was because I was like, well, the other character's older, so I don't know how age works in this yet, but we haven't really aged at all throughout this entire campaign. Our characters just had a very, very brief stint of getting into a lot of combat in the, you know, in the overall outlook of their life. It was probably a pretty short adventure, but they got a lot of combat experience out of it, so... And I know that's not anything I should be proud of. I don't know why it makes me smile. I don't think I mean that you are a fool. By the way, nice of you to not say where this hallway goes. My bedroom. Come on. Black stone veined in deeper black, the light massages subtleties from the seeming smooth surfaces of the walls. Something I have never told anyone, who is not a small star clump fallen from space. Fragment of rock, of pleasant flickering oil, and the magic in the founding stones, deep and cold beneath the castle. My sleep never comes without nightmares. Really? I hate hearing that. Are they really bad? They are always of my home, nightmares of that house, my parents, all the very damp, awful details of death and after. And I wish that it were fire I was afraid of. That would be easier. I might have conquered that. Passage's end, she pauses. A glow from a room beyond that smells of herbs and cherry wine. I know that I am who holds on to these memories, but it is involuntary. Like a guilty reflex of the hand, even when I have tried to cast them away, I have instead clutched after them and clung on to them, and you can't hear the word home without your nightmares surfacing, awake or sleeping. But you led me up that dark hill. And since that night, this will sound sentimental, but Afterwards, those bad dreams happen less. Seem they are crowded out sometimes by good ones. And that baffles me. 20 lifetimes or more might have gone by in this body since I thought good dreams were possible. Did she seem afraid of what she'd said? She turned and entered the light of her room, and they both already knew by that point this was to be the end. What made me stop trying? Sort of want to know what made me stop trying, What would Caleb have said? She's always got a little unexpected wisdom. Oh no, I would just be like you, probably. When I was in love before, or... Well, no, I mean, it's in me, so I can't say it. When I was in love before, I broke the bad news to him over breakfast. And when he did his stupid smile and said, him too, I didn't know how to react. I didn't kiss him and ask him for more. That would have been too humiliating, I guess, right? Anyway, it was 2 days later that he died. And that really, in the important ways, is what killed me. Yes, so here. You may recognize those aromas from our travels. Black bottle, crimson moss, winebriar stems. I keep them all fresh. One day, I have old rose cookies in some drawer. This is where you sleep. When I sleep in the Citadel, it is usually in here. And see, I even peppered the walls with glimmer lights. It looks hideously childish to me, and that it is too late to erase them. How in her place you look, standing there. I can imagine you in your stray hours. Maybe you'd sit writing at that desk, not poetry. I don't know what. Well, poetry sometimes, even me. Right, and... Sorry, I didn't mean... That is something that we might learn about each other in the companionship you propose. I'd love to read your poetry. Once more, LTR turns her face. Ellen's for. Some things are true, even when we wish not to believe them, and... I can't go, you know. I no longer... And I can't stay. No, you can't give up everything and everyone else. That is obvious, and who would I be if I allowed you to do that? I guess you'd be someone who wanted me to stay. Yeah, I mean, this was going to be rough. Like, we knew this was coming. We knew this talk was going to need to be had. And it's being had now. I mean, this is partly the reason I made the decisions to set up these two, because I was pretty sure there was no way they were actually going to be able to be together, and I wanted to see how the game was going to handle that. Was it going to be like some way they get together, or was it going to be like a mature, like, I love you, you love me, we're into each other, but we can't possibly be together kind of thing, which is interesting storytelling to me, so... Listen, I know this is all annoying to hear, especially now and from my mouth. We are of different worlds. You are young. I am ancient. You have not just your friends here, but your parents back home. Yeah, and that's the other thing that I specifically talked about earlier. I'm like, LVR is old. Like, she is like another being compared to you, Ellen's for. It's like a human dating an elf problem, specifically in media where elves live like ridiculous amounts of time. It's like, this person has had so many years to experience things and grow into themselves and become comfortable with themselves that you two are not even on the same level. So... Please, I hate how dull and serious these lines sound. Don't make me keep saying them, There's nothing that makes Ellen 4 stop. LTR has all but admitted how she feels for him, and yet he can't seem to ask for more. He finds no dragon words in his horde that might forcibly sway this doom in the direction he thinks it ought to go, and saying anything less would be embarrassing? Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone's been in that position before where it's truly like, you have no words, there's nothing you can say, and you realize that, and trying to keep pushing it just makes things worse, and makes things awkward and embarrassing for both of you. So... I never truly thought this through when we began. But listen, even this might be stupid or selfish, and even if we only have a moment... Ellensford later claims they shared a simple kiss there, pure and true. Their faces gold-struck, blood sweltering, and the room a teary blur. Who would be able to say any different? We spoke. And And now I send you on, my companions, I trust without too many sore feelings. No, there's sadness, but there are no partings without pain when the company has been good. Some elegiac words from Hughes Griff. Yes, good. I apologize as much as I earnestly can for what you four have endured, and while it was uncomfortable for us all, I cannot truly be sorry. Knowing you, walking beside you, it was a pleasure, but more, it taught me to reconsider things, old things, habits of being in which I had become too grimly set, and so... Go on, and love the twilight. I think it will forever be your hour. Glyphric sent you off brusquely, but did not send you off with nothing, or so I do suspect. Just don't forget us, I won't, even should I wish to. Yeah, oh god, isn't that the worst? It's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to forget you, even though it's really, really going to pain my heart to not forget you. I kind of wish I could, so I would feel better, but... These little matchlight words, goodbyes were all they could strike up between them at the end. Woof. You know, this scene, and specifically, like, with the characters talking about, like, saying goodbye and how hard that is, this hits so much harder experiencing it after the team and the developer of this have said, like, yes, their time is done with Wildermyth. It really shows you that, yeah, this is it. This is what they wanted to do. This is like their goodbye, it almost feels like. I'm not sure if that's the intention or what, but it hits like that with the new context, and I'm probably reading into it too much or something, but... Even at this parting, there was no real bright or lasting thing to say. And so, a short while later, they are gathered there alone, 4 travelers, gazing down a short and unmistakable path. No guide needed, since the only turn to take is homeward. Unwatched and unaccompanied, at this odd-fitting archway cut into a random wall, deep in the silent fathoms of the castle, the discussion has finally stalled. Their aloneness here begins to feel like the surging of waters trying to push them out, back to places they might better belong. So Hughes goes suddenly, closing his eyes as he plunges through. As he wasn't before, he is first into the pale. That far door is the only solid shape, fragrant of morning fields. Desire grips his neck then, to be on the other side and touch cool green leaves. Now is it? Challenging. Trying not to run towards home. My hesitation's probably just that I expect, you know, something always goes wrong, doesn't it? Ground solid as a dance floor, but mist around your ankles. Mara screws tight her eyes then and takes a diver's breath, before throwing herself over the threshold. She seems mildly surprised not to be crumbling into ash. Whew. An okay place, isn't it? Yeah, I mean... This walk into here doesn't hold the same weight for Hughes as it does for Vara, because Vara's still not even totally sure she's like a real person that exists. She's still struggling with that. So the fact that she's going through here, she, you know, it was probably very terrifying and relieving now. I can smell sun after summer rain. We are returning to life, are we not? Hada said, walk with faith in the storm of your woes, and you shall arrive on my blessed lee. So I will try it, and I will try... So saying, Calum wades into the white. And Ellensforth stands there, stands at the threshold, making the whole world wait, stands unmoving. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Until he realizes home for him is no longer that way. Sorry, I'm staying. Until a familiar voice speaks softly at his side. Ellensforth, I want to go. Will you take me? Before, with effort, ducking through. It feels most right. I mean... Given everything that's been talked about here and stuff, this does feel the most right. But obviously I think Ellensforth staying is the worst decision here. For me. I think that's just the worst, because not only will you be separated from them, like Elthiar said, but Elthiar coming with us is a strong potential. Because it solves a lot of the problems, well, one of the problems that Elthiar mentioned, which Ellensford would be leaving behind, like, his family, his people, his friends, and everything to stay here with her. But if Elthiar comes with him, he keeps all of that and still has Elthiar as well. But also, as, like, melancholy and stuff as it is, like, I still feel like this feels the most right. Like, there's still the problem of Elthiar just feels like otherworldly to Ellensford. Like, I don't legitimately believe they can be together. In my eyes, if Elthiar went with Ellensford, they would not end up together. They would be friends, but I think the distance still needs to be maintained of them not being in a relationship, because I don't think it would work. And we also don't know what's going to happen to Elthiar if she does leave. She said she couldn't, so she might just think that, you know, she doesn't know what's going to happen, basically. So, something I could do, I guess, is save, and we can see all of the routes, possibly. But first, I think the one that makes the most sense to me to choose as, like, my quote-unquote canon option is ducking through feels the most right. It's foolish to answer a riddle for your life when you may only get one guess. And it's cruel to pose a riddle to another that you can't yourself answer. So then we're just going now? Expected something else. It'll be for the best. That will be our work, making sure it is for the best. It's okay to decide on being wiser, to let yourself long and fully wonder. You'll be warmed by your regrets more often than they burn you. I can do this because there's plenty of good works, tasks that I still want to lend my hand to, There's more than phantoms in our hills, and even if I run out of those or I get tired... You know, it's sad, but I could find a way back. All it seems to take is an oath. Cross one creek and one creek bed. By night, we should reach Tallow, which is a roadhouse. The wind that rises and the aching sound of old trees, sunshine that's as astounding now as Netherflare's bound skies, to red and ebon hills. Down's another 2 days. 2 days to reach Yandrik, to a Kjörin. Good luck. There are quirks, they discover, coming from a place as magical as Netherfarwen. For instance, they haven't ever supposed that Caitlin was speaking another tongue. That's interesting. They discovered from places, yeah. Caitlin wasn't speaking our language this whole time, but it's like being translated for us. Hjoven wan Cyrillis, gan Hjoven Sanwan. Acquiring the local language will prove to be a rewarding pursuit for Caitlin, and shall call it a safe and decent way to meet world-curious men. In early light, the town roofs will glow gold and pink and crimson. Yes, didn't anticipate we'd be waiting on your return. Folks say you were escorted by cultists. Whoops, didn't mean to skip that. Alright. Evening will pack the tavern. Look! Look who it is! Where stories will be traded with the distant deeds of two different parties joined here in jubilation. I also think this is one of my legacy characters as well. But look who it is! I swear, did they even notice I was gone? Why bother coming back here at all? Are you talking about... Yeah... Love is weird. It wobbles between hurt and happiness. And who can know? I think I know, Elthiar. These stars... They shine like that because they miss you. You may be lost in exile all your life, or you may learn to be at home in your decisions. It takes the sum of your wandering to be where you are each moment. But the whole sky moves in the course of a night's walk. This is how you know a story isn't over. No life decided. No future too dim or doomed. Until every sun goes black, every eye closes even to dreaming. The end. Oof. That was powerful. That was strong. That was strong. Whew. Definitely as someone that has, like, hit, like, a point in their life where a lot of things are changing and coming to realizations and, like, things that you never thought you would have come to and stuff. The message of the end of Omenroad here is a strong one for me, because it's easy to get caught up in your regrets and your what could be's and what ifs and all of these things, and it's just nice to see it all kind of laid out there and see other characters experiencing that kind of thing. Alright. This world where the words and stories all were new proved endlessly liberating to Calum. Can it be imagined by us? Can we think of it as setting out again? The changing world will sometimes remind you who is not there changing beside you. Elensfor and Elthiar each found joy, and were not so hurt, remembering. They each found joy. See, now that's what I want to hear. Vara lived a new life, not erasing her first, but letting it mostly go. Hey, rude stranger, come out of the rain. What if I'm trying to grow roots? Oh. How complicated. Tell it again. Stories of their journey were met with rapt faces, even in strange hollows. It's these two. Again. Alright. That's it. Okay, these heroes will be added to your legacy. Yup. Calum and Elensfor. Okay, so I have 2 promotions I can do. I mean, I feel like Vara and Hughes, I definitely feel like Hughes deserves it. Their new items, histories, and abilities will go with them. Calum was good. I liked Calum. Elensfor was fine, but I think Vara and Hughes are the ones I'm going to promote. They're not only higher level, so they'll be stronger, but I also just really like these two. So let's promote you and Hughes. And we unlock new elemental weapons. Okay. Well, I definitely want to see what happens if I load this up. And we skip to the decision. So let's try this one, which would have been my next choice, basically. The shock of those words, from what are unmistakably her lips, kills him. It seems like it does. I'm sorry that this time I can't take your silence to mean... My silence to mean yes? Then yes, I will say it yes. And I'll say anything else you want me to say if it helps. Yes was the important one, but give me time. I may well provide you with a terrible and prurient list. Elensfor? She's changed her mind. She says she's coming with us. Is that possible, though? Remember her story. She left once before and was dragged back here. But... of course this'll be different. I am also wondering... Oh no, but... I mean, there's also the fact that, yeah, Elthiar would probably want to get back outside so she can see the stars again. Because, okay, I've thought about this, actually. Anyone may go who may find their way. Or else is led? May be true for most, and assuming the lovely crow is right. I have always gone alone. I have traveled as far as Pale's Edge many times. Yet I have never found that step, that final step across it. Do you think I have only needed my own stalwart guide? And perhaps I was so self-certain that I could not see it? Could that be... No. Oh. No, but... After our farewells, it did not take me long to realize I had no wish to be where you were not. So even if that meant... well, it did mean I needed to hurry and propose to my reasoning side a story of how I could mitigate the obvious misgivings I might have. So I tried to arrange things correctly. I did try. And what's that mean? I may have made someone a tiny little promise. An oath. You want me to witness an oath without puking nails. Should only take effect if Elensfor does permit me to come along. It's an amusing idea, mostly to one who's spouting it. I suppose I could do my best, or the best I feel like doing in the hypothetical moment to argue your case. You must really be sick with longing, my dear old ranger, how unusual. But Orifel, I have never thought to stop the goddess, and this won't be the reason I try. I can't guess if she will even listen to me, so be mindful, never feel too at home. Yeah, so you basically made a deal with Glyphrix to try and stop Oraway from dragging you back. She promised out loud to the ceiling, basically. In front of the dragon. And why would that not suffice, do you think? What do you two know? If we're lucky, we may still get 60 years together. How exciting to have years again. But you don't know what price you may have to pay. Nor do you. And I have already made my vow. You have already told me, yes. That is done, so are you not curious to see what happens next? Like what? I might grow old and die alongside you. I don't want to take your whole life from you. Okay, so you will age. You're still, like, way older than me, technically, but you will start aging now. Or, what if I crumble to dust the second I step out of the shadow world, Why would that... LTR, why did you do this? For love. The trail doesn't bend underfoot, the door doesn't vanish. It's as simple as a stroll in the garden and they all go together. Really have missed it, grass under me down to the water, squelching my toes in soft river silt. Drying on the sparkle-sown granite, bearing my ankles to the sun, I remember. Cross one creek and one creek bed by night, yep, there we go. Wind rises... Yeah, we're still hearing about this. Whoop, whoop, there they were. Okay. Back. Another Farwin. And in fact, she isn't the only one who will work to acquire the modern Yandric. I am trying to say it slowly. Olgosa, slow more. Say it again. Bird? Right. In early light, the town roofs will glow pink and crimson. There they are. And awkward meetings will continue for a while. New relations, roughly stitched with shy words. They will eventually grow strong. I am honored to meet you? Thank you. I hope this can last. I even hope someday you'd maybe call this... Words like home can change their meaning. Foes become friends and fiction turn to fact. Mold in the deep, in the dark of the heart, every unseen thing is fluid. The whole sky moves in the course of a night's walk. And this is how you know a story isn't over. No life decided. No future too dim or doomed. Till every sun goes black, every eye close to dreaming. Here we go! Okay, and then there's another one of those. Do we have anything about you two? They lived, Ellensfor and Elthiar, life in the sun and the moon and the weather. Sometimes in town, but often wandering together, over near and distant yonderings, stars burning through the night. Oh, I'm glad they have their time together. That is quite sweet. So, alright. Skip that. Done. Alright, so let's load up one more time and see what the other ending looks like. One where Ellensfor stays. Never to see his parents again. Only silent looks cross the gap over a long moment. Not the silence of surprise or sorrow or anything as simple as a word. Oh, Ellensfor. His mother's star, look. If it was me, I don't think I'd ever give up on all you're giving up. Even if I was as young as in love as I've ever been. It reminds me that you're braver than I am. I hope you've got this right. When you get sick of this place, though, just try to get unsick of it, because you'll be stuck here. I would make this choice, and I am glad for you. I wouldn't, but I do understand it, and yeah, even I hope it works out. Use Kalimvara. Thank you. Think of it as some adventurers crossed the Great Sea, and in the end, one of them found he belonged on that far shore. The others voyaged back contented, rich with the experience, and ready for their next adventure. But the one who stayed was lucky he'd found home. I hope you'll tell my mom and dad, say I'm safe and happy and thinking of them always, and Hughes, take care of these two. Make sure they get what they need to start again. I'll do my best. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Is this the last time I'll see you? Not if I look away now. Then I can imagine you're still there. And if I choose to glance back, or if I don't, you might forever still be there. This is a really... This is probably my favorite of the campaigns, I think. Just because it does do a lot of cool stuff and it speaks to me personally. The other ones have all been very, very fantastic as well, but this one I just... It just hits, you know, for a variety of reasons. Okay, so then we see this. Yep, they're still working on their language. Yep, that's pretty much the same. That's pretty much the same. Hughes? Where's... How about Elensfor? Or son? Yep. There was no wise way to hold on, Elthiar, or Vel. You are of an age, the moment has come to start honing your wisdom, your restraint. That won't work down here. Won't it? If you're not led by your desires, you'll wind up lost, something I learned in this world. That may drive a man, a very handsome, very smart, very good man, to make a very rash decision. Sounds like you'd be alright, smart, good, and handsome. This man would have thought it all out long before following his heart. What will you demand from me, a promise to love you always? That would be truly irresponsible, Shall we both take a vow? Not eternal love, but eternal learning? To being a gentle study of all you are, and were, and want? Silence means yes. Words like home can change their meaning. Foes become friends, yep, the whole sky moves. This is how you know a story isn't over, no life decided. Until every sun goes black, every eye comes close to dreaming. Oh, that was a good campaign. I loved that. Oh my god. That was so nice. Alright, well, Omenroad, definitely a recommended DLC for me. That is a fantastic DLC, and now I can do the roguelike mode as well with some friends and stuff, so... Alright. I guess next time we will start the final, story. All the Bones of Summer. Someone I believe mentioned that Sunswallower's Wake isn't super worth doing, and honestly I think we need to end this. So we're going to finish up the final chapter. I'll probably be posting the vote for the new game soon, because this likely won't take me that long. But we'll pick that up next time, so... Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for some more.